right? I don't do wholesaling through contracts, all right? My wholesaling is I acquire the property and I take the junk out and I cut the grass and I put it right back on the market. That's my wholesale. Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk a little bit more about how to buy over the counter if they don't sell at auction?
Yeah, so over the counter, you just contact the local tax collector in the county and you ask them if they have the list of the properties that did not sell at the auction. Okay, so that's all you have to do.
Is that also here in California?
California's a deed, so there's no over the counter in
Okay,
California.
so only in tax lien.
Usually tax liens, yeah. There's some that have tax deeds that didn't sell at the auction, okay? But be careful on the tax deeds. There's a reason why they didn't sell at the auction for tax deeds, all right? There's a big reason why.
Yeah.
So liens a different story. Liens, you might be able to find something. We just did Arizona last year for over the counter, okay? Our group did. We handled the whole state. We handled the whole state and we bought, I think, 25 or 30 liens over the counter, the ones that didn't sell, okay?
Oh, like the Treasury Department?
Yeah, you contact the tax collector, or the tax collector, okay?
Thank you.
Yep. All right, seller financing, keep the house, clean it out, sold to another person. We're gonna show you some properties, fix and flips. I've done this since 1990s. One of the success students of Colton Sheets back in the 1990s. When you flip houses for $1 million, I'm flipping houses for $10,000. Okay? I will make way more money, rate of return wise, than you will ever make in this business. Why do you think the hedge funds do this and don't do this fix and flip in LA? Okay? Think about it. Why is it it's just the locals really who do the fix and flips and not the hedge funds? Hedge funds are gonna buy and hold a lot of times. A lot of times they're wholesaling. That's what they're doing because they realize where the money is. That's a property here, 106 South Beach Street. Now this is a little old, maybe about a year old on some of these pictures, okay? But we can show you properties if you want. I'm doing it every single month on properties, okay? Existing properties we're doing. Because 95% of my money I make is on properties. 5% is on the education part. 95% of my money is on properties, okay? So we bought that for $10,000. We spent about $45,000 fixing it up. We sold it for $100K. 100K. Do you understand that when I'm buying a property, except in New Mexico and Pennsylvania for the upset bid, I have no mortgage? Do you understand that? That I have no mortgage. When you guys are buying these properties for $1 million and you're taking a hard money loan, who's making the money in a hard money loan?
The lender.
It's the lender, right? It's the lender and the broker. I have no mortgage on any of my properties because the government's always first priority. All the time. Okay? So they just wipe out the mortgages there. So I had no mortgage on this property. This one here, 325 East South Beach Street in Gas City. Bought for $13,000, sold 134, spent about 60 grand on that property. Right on the same street. Making over 100 to 200% return on my money with no loan, no mortgage payments, nothing. Zero. That's why we're crushing it in this market. I love what I do, I'll tell you that, guys. I really do. I love my business so much. Okay, we're actually going to Hawaii in the next 3 weeks. Okay? So I do travel. We're going to go to the tax collector. I'll ask some questions there too. Okay? But I love my business very much because it's so profitable. And you're helping the community, you're helping the neighbors, the city. Everybody's happy except the owner who lost the house. Okay? But this is the benefit that I understand. 212 Northeast Street in Marion, Indiana. $4,000. Anybody have $4,000 to buy a house? Okay, 4,000, yeah. She's the only one that has $4,000. Okay, $4,000, all right? But the thing here is you're selling for $119, spending about 50 grand, fixing it up. It's a house. Now I'm going to show you mobile homes. I do a lot of mobile homes with land. I will never buy a mobile home in the park. Okay? I will not. Because the park controls me. The owner will tell me what they're going to want to do. They're going to tell me who's going to get approved, and so on. I said, great, you want to be a park owner? That's fine. I won't buy anything in your park, so don't worry about me at all. I'm only buying it in the land, that I own the land. Okay? Wholesale. This is what we're talking about. We talked fix and flip already. We're talking about wholesale. 257, 259 South Lawson Lane. One mobile home there, one mobile home there. I own the land, so they're right beside each other. Two separate parcel numbers, okay? Wilcox, Arizona. Very small little town and everything. Anybody want to take a shot how much we pay for those two with the land? Okay, they're both worth, if you fixed it up, each of them are worth $100,000 each. If you fixed it up. If you fixed them up. How much would you spend? Anybody want to take a shot? Huh?
4,000.
4,000.
6,000.
6,000. Who said 200? Who said 200? Huh? 200? What, 200,000? Maybe, 200,000, right? You're used to here in LA County. I'm in Bellflower, but, okay? 2,000 bucks. I hope you guys understand. I really, 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 really hope you fully understand why Wall Street is doing this. Okay? Why they're making tons of money in this business. I got taught by the hedge funds to do this, not by the locals, but the people who make 50 to 100 million a year taught me this. And I had to modify and modify. They didn't give me everything. I had to modify and so on.
So how do y'all bid them?
You learn what they don't want, right? You go where they don't go. That's the key. But everyone wants to do LA County, right? LA County, congratulations, you're gonna lose. Okay? You're gonna lose. LA County. Okay? Or jack up your price. Or you're gonna learn how to buy certain things maybe in LA County, you might have a shot. But why would I do that? I sold it for $49,000. All I did, took the junk out. Do you understand I just made like 40,000 bucks on that deal with no rehab, no nothing at all? You do 100 of those, you understand what we're making in this business, okay? And it's a very lucrative business. Here, 608 North Central, Sierra Vista, bought for $40,500, sold it for $45,000. Right? Cleaned up. This is wholesale. So I didn't fix it up like the fix and flips. Fix and flips, I've done it for many years. These are just wholesaling. Sold price, $45,000, okay? 1512 Roosevelt, Memphis, Tennessee. Anybody know why I buy in Memphis, Tennessee? Thank you very much, honey. That's right. That's why I wanted to buy in Memphis, Tennessee. I said, I gotta buy a house at least one time in Memphis, Tennessee. Elvis Presley, right? I told myself, I said, I gotta do that. And I had to, and what did I do? What did I do after that? No, what did I do?
You sold it? Right.
Yeah, I sold it, but what else did I do?
You lived in it?
I went to Graceland, right? That's exactly right. That's what I did. Because I didn't see the property in person. I had somebody else, drive by and take the pictures for me and do the trash out. I said, okay, I gotta go at least look at the house that I sold, but I'm gonna go to Elvis Presley's house.
So how much did you buy that house for?
Right there, $15,000.
Wow.
Okay, $15,000. Sold it for $48,000. Now I wholesaled it, $48,000. Okay. So I make a business trip with a little fun time, vacation time. that I did. That's what I did when I went to Fort Lauderdale. You know, I went there for like a week, 2-3 days before the event started. And I was down there, okay? And I did some videos too. Yes.
How do you make sure you're the lien that gets the deed?
How do you what?
How do you make sure you're the lien that gets the deed?
Oh, it doesn't matter because the lien's wiped out. The mortgages are wiped out.
I know, but I'm saying how you make sure that you bought the lien that actually gets the deed.
How do I know that I bought the lien? So they send you a certificate, and you're the lien holder on the certificate.
No, I guess like if they have multiple liens, I guess I should say that. How do you know you're the lien that gets?
There's no multiple liens. There's only one lien here.
Oh, so you only
Okay.
buy copies of one.
Right. So remember, every state is different of how they work. So if I want to go to, let's say, Illinois, okay? Illinois is person buys a lien and the second person doesn't pay the second year, you can have multiple lien holders on the property, right?
Oh, so as it goes on, it goes.
Right, it could be, because it could be first year the person paid, and the second year that investor didn't pay, it goes back to sale, and then you could have a second investor on the property, and so on. But you gotta know the rules. Yes, sir.
What she's getting at is that a tax lien wipes out everybody below it.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know the IRS or not? I don't
No,
know.
IRS is, they usually stay on for 90 to 180 days. Okay? Now, very important, you gotta understand that a lot of times code violations they may stay. Code violations may stay.
Fines for code violations.
Right, the
The
fines,
fines.
that's correct, the fines, okay? That will possibly stay on that situation, okay?
Does that prevent you from selling it then, if they're?
No, you don't have to, it all depends, you know? You sell it low enough, someone's gonna buy it from you,
Suppose there's construction liens, do they?
they're wiped out,
Wiped out.
okay? Okay?
Because it's taxes, and they're the first.
First priority. Yes, sir.
HOA delinquent.
Those are wiped out,
Oh, they were wiped
yeah,
Because it's taxes.
But they,
okay? But remember, if it's in North Carolina, if it's in New Mexico, they stay, and in Pennsylvania, for the upset bid, they will stay. Okay, so you gotta know where to go and where not to go in the situation. It's very important that we gotta understand that, the basics here. Okay, my investments here, fair market